Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome back to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the markets in EVE Online. Welcome to JITA, the major trade up in EVE Online. And yeah, let's have a look. Today's extra thing that I'll check out, I think, are going to be the freighters with the announcement of JITA Burn 3. I do wonder if some movement has been going on there. Because keep in mind, while the goons do like to blow people up for fun, they are also after economical power, and so I do think they might have made a move there. So yeah, let's get started right with the plex here. That's not the best of charts. 40 seconds, still pretty high. Whoa, really? Is that 740 million ISK? Yeah, 743 million ISK, 730 for the buyers. That must be close to an all-time high, honestly. I might have reached like 760 at some point, but this is quite an extreme chart. A few things that might have added to this, of course, is the announcement of the FanFest stream once again, which you can purchase with a plex. I would not be surprised that has once again increased demand. As I've said before, because the rise has been going on for such a long time, the entire year in fact, with FanFest this close, I do not expect a pullback before FanFest, because it's just going to keep adding new pressure on the supply, because people do want plexes for stuff like the live stream, the high quality live stream. There will probably be other things as well that you can purchase with plex during FanFest, so people might just be preparing for that. It's just the thought of being able to pay for something like that with in-game time, basically. That's what it all comes down to, and a lot of people are willing to pony up quite a bit of ISK in order to get some of these extra goodies, and thus the price of plex is still going higher. And 743, that's extremely high, probably the highest I've ever seen. I think might be close to an all-time high as well. The only thing that could really save us, if I'd have to go for a scenario that might happen for a pullback in plexes, is that during and after FanFest, CCP comes out with a huge plex sale. That's a possibility. Still, if they announce another great summer expansion with some new stuff, this is once again going to bring new people into the game, going to add speculation on plexes as well, and yeah, it's really it could go either way in my opinion. But this is a very extreme chart here again. You know, I thought here when it went up towards 700 million and stalled for a little bit that it might stop, but here again another leg up, another 40 million higher in like a week or something like that. Let me quickly go for the 1 month chart. And these are extreme rises in the plex prices, as it's pretty obvious that demand is huge at the moment. So let's move on to the minerals. Let's see if there's any impact here. 320. Tritanium really going up to 560. Is that real? 605 for tritanium. Oh my god. Buyers 554. That's quite a bit higher than what it was last week. It was hanging at 510. Now it's already above 6 ISK, which is way higher than the entire chart here, in fact. And that's a little bit of a surprise to me. Although I was saying during the last 2 weeks I was seeing much more demand than supply, and here again only at 610 is a decent amount of supply coming in, and yet 1, 2, 3 orders here, very new orders on the buy order side, already make up pretty much the bulk of all of the supply, and then you get a few pretty big orders after that as well. So yeah, I'm still seeing more demand than supply here for tritanium, and the price has risen enormously all of a sudden. This could be the impact of the announcement to the refinery changes. If people have calculated that such an amount of tritanium, for instance, comes out of high-sec refinery, people are generally lazy, and if you don't expect them to move to null-sec for the better yields, then yeah, you can expect an increase, a decrease in supply, and thus an increase in prices is a normal reaction here. Let's see if pyrite has followed suit. That seems to be stalling a little bit, still hanging at probably 1230, something like that. Yeah, 1254, 1252 on the buy order side, which is very close to one another. And again, I am seeing much more demand than supply. Look at that, 260 million, 300 million, 300 million, 155 million. None of these numbers are available on the supply side of things. So I do expect that pyrite might go up as well, although it has been moving sideways for most of the month here. Let's have a look at Mixalon then. That could be interesting. Mixalon definitely gone up. Look at that, up to 51 ISK, 52 in fact already on the sell orders. If you're looking again at the supply demand situation, way more demand here, 280 million, 157 million, 150 million. People might just be preparing for what's coming with the summer expansion on all of this, and that's definitely a decent jump, although we have seen Mixalon much higher than this. So it's not right to draw a comparison to Plex, for instance, but it is definitely up for the entire month, and here you can see a sharp increase to 51 ISK. Let's have a look at Isogen then. Well, it's trying, it corrected a little bit back to the 133 after a significant rise, and here again I am seeing a data point at 137. Current price 134. Supply demand seems a bit more balanced, to be honest. These two big sell orders actually make up the volume of this one pretty much, so a little more demand than supply, but it's not as pronounced as what you're seeing in Tritanium and Mixalon at the moment. I do think though that this uptrend is here to stay. Look at that, just 1 more million at 134, and then they're coming in at 144, 149, so that's even above the chart here again. So if this gets broken, if someone decides, well, I'll quickly pick up this 1 million Isogen for 134 because it's still available, then you are going to see the chart here pick up quite substantially again in the next week or so. Let's have a look at Noxium. It's also still available from HiSec, although it's the most expensive HiSec mineral. Let's have a look here. Supply demand, well, here this new demand of course does put quite a little bit of upward pressure. Let's see what it's done. Yep, exactly, although it's not that visible on the chart here. 760 for the sell orders, and then here just 2 orders, then 784 for the next one. That's definitely pretty high again, so there is definitely a serious movement in the mineral market going on at the moment, at least for the HiSec available ones. Let's have a look at the ABC ores, the nullsec ones that are a bit more rare. Here is Zydrine, for instance. That looks much more sideways. Is supply demand more in balance? Here's 2 million, but you can see that there are big supply numbers coming in as well, and so a sideways movement at around 720. It's not bad, if you look at the entire month. If I look at 6 months though, it's just an average price since the winter expansion. But yeah, it's definitely been up for the entire month, but I do expect that a sideways movement might be what we're looking at, just because of the bigger supply numbers here. Let's have a look at Megasite as well then. Also a sideways movement. For Megasite especially, it's usually the supply side of things that dictate the price, because people come to buy Megasite. They don't put them on the market that much. They don't get it through buy orders that much. That's what I wanted to say. So here's 1610, and you see a good amount of supply, and 1610 is right over here, and so a little bit lower when some people do manage to get some Megasite through a buy order. They'll have to go with like an exceptional price, closer to 1600. That will get you can pick that up probably right away. But that does mean that we're looking at an average price of 1590 to 1600, and it's pretty stable so far in the last few weeks. So let's have a look also at Morphite, although that one is a little bit different from the other ones because it's not a Tech 1 mineral here. It's used for Tech 2 stuff, and this is also a sideways movement. Here again 7000 ISK per unit. This means here again that it's really the sellers that dictate the price for a very large part. It's very hard to pick up Morphite on a low buy order, so you have to go very close to the sell order price if you want to be sure that you'll pick up your Morphite in a decent amount of time. So yeah, this is just moving sideways. And did I forget anything? Nope, I think that's it for the minerals. So yeah, uptrend in the HiSec ones, and pretty much sideways movement in the nullsec ones. So I do think this is indicating that this could be an impact from the announcement that the refining in Isaac is going to take a hit. So let's see if there's an impact on Tech 1 chips then. 10, I'll put that down. Let's have a look here at the Drake. That's pretty much sideways, although it's a decent variation here from 47.8 to 45.8. That's 2 million variation, 5%. In a 1 month chart is decent, not trade worthy, but it's a good movement. Supply demand, to me this feels pretty much balanced. There's a little bit more supply than demand here at the moment, but overall people are willing to pay 45 to 46 million ISK for a Drake, and as we're seeing the sideways movement. Maelstrom also has calmed down quite a bit, definitely sideways in the last week or so. Supply demand, as you can see here, except for that one weird order we saw last week as well, it seems pretty much balanced. People come in with 1 to 3 units that they want to buy or sell, and this is all looking quite stable. Omen, well, the demand is coming in here at 9.6 million, so here slight uptrend. But overall, if you look at the 20-day moving average here for the entire month, it's pretty much a stable price as well. There is decent amount of supply, good demand, so yeah, this looks normal. Let's have a look at the rock. Again, sideways in the last few weeks. It did go up before that, but I guess that just means that supply is coming in. Yep, here you go. A big order of 13 is putting a ceiling on the price, and for the rest of it, 6, 4, 1, 1. These are normal numbers for the battleships, and here again 3, 1, 2, 3. That's pretty much normal, pretty much balanced. So the sideways movement is normal, despite the small bump here in Talos. I'm again seeing a sideways movement here, just above 72 million at the moment. Yeah, 74 million for sellers, 69 million for the buyers, so right in between there. This is again decently well supplied, a little bit more supply than demand, but I think that's normal. Sometimes people just come right in, buy a Talos, fly down to Nullsec to lose it. And so this is a healthy situation where people on both sides of the fence actually do business. You know, there are buyers that get to pick them up, there are sellers that actually sell them here, and thus you get this average price that does vary a little bit, but overall decently stable Tech 1 market, I would say, in the last few weeks. That means we can move on to Tech 2, 1235. For some trade opportunities, are we seeing any? Here we go, Absolution, yeah, decent increase in price. Let's have a quick look at the 6-month chart. At least what I prefer to look at trends here. Look at that, the buy order is once again gone. The trigger does seem to be again breaking 190, is a very low price. If you had bought some buy orders on this downtrend here, you're looking at some really good business if you can unload them, of course. But I think that this looks quite alright. People are trying to unload them already. But these are very high prices, 225, 235 even on the seller side. Yep, if you've done those buy orders, especially here at this bottom point, you're looking quite nice with some Absolutions. Start day, yeah, it's just been going up a little bit from its bottom. So again here, if you'd been able to pick them up below 200 million, you're looking quite good, because the current sell orders are still 224, so that's more than 10% more. But it's not as violent as what we just saw in the Absolution market, and unless you have them bought below 200 million, I would be very careful here, because you can see at the tail end 5-day moving average crossing, 20-day moving average, so this is probably going to start to correct back, and unless you have those cheap start days to unload, I would look to either keep them or keep an eye out for that buy opportunity once it comes closer to 200 million again. Claymore, yeah, that's just pretty stable and nowhere near the bottom either, so I'd stay away from that. The Damnation, after its 2 spikes here, it did pretty well on these two. Look at that, 250, 235 coming from 215 million. The buy orders, they're still very low, so if you can pick them up, that's where I would be looking at. It's going to be very hard though, because prices on the sellers are probably going to correct, slowly edging back towards that 215. Once it gets closer to that, you can start to really try to invest a little bit in the Damnation, because if this is any indication, it's volatile enough to make some really good trade money. Yeah, you could risk it on some trades, I think, because even here 212. You know, if you try to pick them up below 215, you're probably looking at a very good deal. EOS trending down, touching 280 million. Again, here I would look into buying some if you want to invest in Tech2 command ships for some trade money. We've seen it come from 330, so this might seem like a general trend, but we've seen these big spikes here. Look at that, 310, too close to 340. That's 30 million ISK. At the moment, you can pick EOS's up for probably 280 million, which is, I think, a pretty good deal and close to the bottom for 6 months. So you could do it if you really want to. Guardian 130 to 135, is that on a low point again? Yes. The problem is 6 months ago it broke 130, so you might want to really try on the buy orders, but there's a lot of competition there already. Yeah, it's honestly where I would put my ISK, but you can hope to sell those Guardians at 150, 160. There's a good chance for that. So again, I am seeing some buying opportunities here in some of these Tech2 ships. Nighthawk, it touched its bottom and it went back up. 10 million increase here. Looks a little bit sideways. So let's see here. Sell orders are not that many though. So 215. It does seem to be the bottom. Yeah, I'd be careful here with the Nighthawk. Honestly, a little bit more supply coming online could put it right back on the downtrend. Let's have a look at the Sleipnir. That's here again, very nice chart. Almost hitting the 215 bottom, then spiking up to 260. It's now correcting, but it's nowhere near the 215 bottom. In fact, buy orders are as high as 235 to 241. I would wait with the Sleipnir because it's right in its sweet spot where it could trade normally for a little bit of time. Vulture then, yeah, that's on its spike, and here again you can see bottom 205. It hit that, and then it went up towards 255 million. In fact, 254 million. Still the sell orders. The buyers 227. That's over here on the chart. I would not be buying vultures if you have them. If you manage to buy them on this dip, yeah, you're looking at good business. Otherwise, I'd stay away from the vulture. Let's move on to Tech3 ships then. 1735. That's probably still oversupplied. Definitely the Legion chart, it's coming into uncharted territory on the bottom part of it. 122 for a Legion. I'm not seeing the huge oversupply, and it's coming closer to this big order below 120 million of 18 units. So yeah, 120 might be where it will start to move sideways a little bit. Because I'm not seeing the oversupply here at the moment. People are very reluctant, I think, to bring Legions to the market at these prices. But overall, I do think that then there will still be people waiting in the shadows to snatch up any sell opportunity. And yeah, 120 might just be the price where it starts to stabilize a little bit. Loki stabilized just a little bit as well, not seeing the big sell orders coming in either, but here again 121 to 126 million for Loki's, extremely low. Proteus 130 to 135, that does seem to be a bit more of its consensus price, but I would not be surprised here again. 108 million. Anything that still stays above 130 for Tech3 seems to no increased supply or oversupply, and thus the downward pressure is still here, I think, for Proteus. Tengu oversupplied even at 126 million ISK. So it's trying to stabilize at 125. Is that going to work? Honestly, the numbers are pretty big. 62, 22, 12, 11, that's more than 100 Tengus that have been brought to the market at these prices. They're not that recent anymore though. So despite the oversupply may not be that fresh, people may be finally starting to move out of the Tech3 production market, hoping to create an opportunity for later at around the 125 million mark. But yeah, it's been a serious downtrend, and the oversupply, maybe it's drying up a little bit, but I would not be surprised if prices start to rise, that it comes right back online. So yeah, interesting stuff, I think, already for this week. I'm going to go for the freighters as the extra one. So let's have a quick look here. Is that nope. it's probably capital ships. Yeah, here we go, freighters. Let's see if this chart has moved. Well, it's been moving quite a lot since January. So could this be like planning? And in the last month, this feels pretty stable. Although honestly, if this uptrend over the last what would that be, 4 months, 3 to 4 months, is the goons hard at work to bring the price up quite a little bit. This could be this break in the uptrend in freighter, at least the Providence, could be something that is a reaction to Jita Burn 3. Let's have a look at the Charon next. Yeah, again here, serious uptrend in the Charon, and now correcting again, I would say, at the moment when we first found out that the goons are going to have a Jita Burn 3 obelisk, again gone up quite substantially since January, in fact since the winter expansion, and then the Fenrir as well, here again up substantially, yeah, from 105 billion to 1.3 billion. That's quite a lot. Let's have a look at the obelisk. 105 to 1.3, all of them right in sync. In fact, the Charon up to 1.4 billion, because Kaldari is probably the most popular race in EVE Online. That's probably normal. And then here again, Providence almost 1.05 billion to 1.35 billion. Those are 300 million increase in price for freighters. Could this be the goons at work? Maybe. We'll have to see if they start to like drop down really significantly after a few weeks after Jita Burn 3. You know, it's a possibility, you know, if you are a force and goon swarm, the goons are a huge force in EVE Online. If you keep your freighters from coming to the market for let's say 3-4 months, now Jita Burn will come, you dump them on the markets at these current very high prices, and then you also pop them as many as possible, increasing more demand. You could be looking at quite a little bit of money. So this could just be a market manipulation attempt that is tied into Jita Burn 3. It would be interesting if it turns out like that. Then that would mean that in between now and the summer we would need to see them correct back as they move to another area of the market in order to try and make their huge money. But it's definitely a significant movement. I mean, that's almost a 30% increase straight up in 3 months. If the goons decided here in January, well, we're going to do Jita Burn 3 and we're gonna try and make some money on the freighters, this is probably how you would do it, you know, keep your production off the market, causing the price to increase significantly. At this point, start dumping your freighters on the market and try to blow some up as well in Jita Burn 3, create some demand, and thus make a good chunk of money after that. So it's a possibility. We'll have to wait and see. We do still need stuff like dates, I think, on Jita Burn 3, and if it happens on like a weekend, I will definitely try and get some footage from that. Anyways, that's it for this EVE Talk, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.